Have you ever spoke to friends or said to yourself, I wish I could have that much money. If I had that much money, I would do XYZ with it. Have you ever sat there and thought, what would I do if I won the lottery? While knowing full well that you have never done the lottery in your life. I'm going to do exactly that in today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be setting out a budget of what that might look for me with my new circumstances, with a 1k budget, a 2k budget, and a 10k budget. In today's video, we're going to be using my stunning A5 budget notepad. Let's actually get her out. She's a stunner. Here she is. She's available on my Etsy store right now, and she normally has 25 sheets on her, but she's running quite thin at the moment because I use her so often. So let's pop her back. She's available, and there's tons of stuff available on my Etsy store, so have a look at the link in the description if you want to get some stunning budgeting items. But let's get into today's video. So starting off, we're going to start with the 1k budget. So the first thing we're going to do is an income of 1k, so £1,000. So £1,000 is not necessarily low for a budget. It's something that I haven't had the luxury of being able to afford like for a very, very long time. But with my new circumstances, and if you don't know, I'll link the video at the end of today's video. So if you want a nice link for that, check it out at the end. So let's go through my bills. So the first one I will have in my new circumstance when I'm living with my brother is rent. And my rent is going to be £400. That's going to be due on the 1st. Then we have pet insurance because Simon and Gracie are coming with me. So you should start to see them in more future videos. So pet insurance, that's due on the 5th every month, and that's £20.69. We also have my phone, which is still a good deal. I'm still pleased with it. The other one, I mean, like, I love it. I do really, really like my phone. I have no plans on doing anything. I'm definitely not going to go into a contract. Anyway, that's due on the 10th, and that's £17.51. We also have Apple because I need to take care of my storage. It's something that I got rid of at the start of my budgeting journey, but I'm finding that because I'm using my phone so much for work and I'm taking so many photos and stuff like that, I really, really need it. So that's due the 17th every month, and that is £2.99. We then have my car insurance. So car insurance, that is £27.24. It's due on the 19th as well, £27.24. And I will be looking around soon to get a better deal, see if I can, but it's all right for me. And then I have vape, and I have no plans to stop doing that. I'm going to put that as a variable date because I buy that at roughly any time. And I still count that as a bill because it's just every month and it's just part of what I do. I'd rather do that than budget for cigarettes, that's for sure. So that I do roughly £29.99 per month. And the final thing is cat food, and that is special oral care cat food for my cats. Gracie's fine, but Simon needs extra care with his teeth. So we have cat food, that is also variable, and that is £38.99. It invariably goes up like quite often, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, I like to put unbudgeted under here. So unbudgeted, and 0. So all of that comes up to 519.41. So that's a significant chunk out of the 1k budget, but I still believe I can make it work. So left over, what I have is 480.59. So let's move over to envelopes because I need a bit of spending money. Just because I'm on a tight budget doesn't mean that I don't have room to like look after myself. So first of all, we have spending. So I feel like if my budget is ever this tight, I need to sort of do £20 a week. So I think that's the minimum that I would be happy living on. I could probably stretch it to 15, but I wouldn't necessarily be happy. So that would be 80. And then petrol, so that's to get to work, that's to get around and do all sorts of stuff. 80 always has worked for me fine, so I'm going to keep that at 80. Next we have groceries, and this is the one that's probably a bit of a tight squeeze, but I've shoehorned £90. So that would probably be one big shop at the start of the month and then very small top-up shops throughout the month. So I think that's what that would probably look like. I'd probably get a lot of frozen stuff that would last longer. Long term, that would not be ideal because you're not getting like nutrients and stuff like that. But you know, when your income's this tight for a short amount of time, this would probably be the approach that I would take. And then I would still factor factor in self-care, because without it, you're miserable, or I am miserable. So I'd do £40 rather than the usual £60. So all of that for envelopes comes up to £290. It leaves us with 190.59. So I'm actually going to skip sinking funds here, which is a shame. But I feel like if my income is at £1,000, that's relatively low. I don't think I've really got scope for saving up in the way that I normally would. So there's two things in here that I'd still like to move over to savings. So we've got the ISA there, which is still £10 a week. I'd still do £40 for that. And then home. Saving up for my first home, which I would do £150, and that's something that I've already got set up. It's going into quite a nice interest pot, and that's the maximum you can put in every single month. So that comes up to 190, and then that leaves us with 59p. So that would be the buffer for this one, is 59p. So let me tell you what I feel about this budget. So for me, it's not like ideal, and I'm sure that people with different priorities would do things different ways. So for me, I've still got the priority or I've still got an importance on saving up for my home, but I will forego every other sinking fund. I will forego sort of going on holiday and saving up for things and saving challenges and stuff like that, as long as it gets me to that place eventually. So that's what I would do. I will sacrifice a bit of spending money, but what I won't sacrifice is some self-care, because that's really, really important to me. So that's what the £1,000 budget looks like to me. I'd love to know what you would cut out. Please let me know down in the comments. But let's move over to what the 2K budget might look like. So for 2K, it's a bit of a different story. We're still in the paycheck bill tracker. So let's get a different colored pen and let's get cracking with this. So the big change, first of all, is the income. We are now working with £2,000, which feels a lot better to me. So my bills won't necessarily change. So I'm just filling these in right now just to make sure that they're exactly the same. Okay, so this is where we're going to make some changes. So first of all, looking at spending, before what we did was a budget of £80. But what I'm actually going to do now is go back to what I currently do, which is £40 a week. So that's £160. And then for petrol, there's going to be absolutely no change, because £80 really works for me. So let's do 80 for that. Groceries, we are going to change that. So we were at £90 and now we're going to go to 160, which is £40 every single week, which is probably more than enough, but I don't actually know at this point because I haven't actually done it yet. Then self-care moves back to what it currently stands at now, which is £60 for the whole month. That's 2 haircuts, and that's what makes me happy because I feel like human. So we're moving there, and so envelopes is actually 460 instead of 290, and I'm left with 1020.59. So we're going to do some sinking funds now because we didn't actually have money for that last time. So the first thing we'll do is car maintenance. So it probably should be something that I have in the 1K budget. It's only £25, but I just couldn't shoehorn it in. So hopefully I never get to a place where I have a budget of £1,000. Hopefully it's 1,025 if it's ever that low, because car maintenance is very, very important. And I do believe £25 is actually a reasonable amount for the car that I have. So we do have that. I'd like to save for a month ahead, because I think on a budget like this, it's sensible to get to a place where you've kind of got a bit of an emergency buffer just in case a 1K month does happen. So month ahead, I'd do £40 a month into it, because in a year's time, I'll probably have about enough for that. And then I'd like to do savings challenges, because that is the luxury and my hobby, and I'm taking care of my financial self. So savings challenges are really important to me. So I'd like to spend about £600 per month onto little pockets of joy for myself, which is literally what they are to me. Then we have Christmas. So Christmas, looking after that, making sure that I've got enough money. So that's £40. And I like to save for a holiday every month. So £100 seems like a lot, but it's only £1,200 in a year. And, you know, I could probably get 2 really nice holidays out of that, one really nice one. So that's the plan with that. And then car insurance. So being able to pay for my car insurance all in one go, £20 is pretty reasonable for that, for me and my circumstances. So that comes up to 825. So 825, which leaves me with 195.59. So these bits aren't going to change. So ISA will still be 40 and home will still be 150, which is 190, and leaves me with a buffer of 559. So a bit more of a buffer, but not really a buffer at all. So the changes really are in this area here and the envelope. So having more money means that I can take better care of myself. I can make it work on £90 of groceries, etc. But this is a bit more of a realistic long-term budget. So the budget I showed you beforehand, yes, it would be tight, but yes, it is possible. Could you do it every month forever? Potentially not. But for me, I know where I put my value, and that's in taking care of myself and making sure that I'm not like bleeding myself dry. So having a look at envelopes is important to me, and then sinking funds, taking care of me and looking forward to things like holidays and stuff like that. That's what's super important. So with a 2K budget, I would do this budget, and you know, I think this is all right. But bestie, as we know, it's really a time to do the exciting bit, which is exploring what a 10K budget might look like. So let's go. Okay, here we are at the really, really fun part, and this is what my budget might look like if I was getting £10,000 on a regular basis. Now, if you remember from January's budget, which it will be linked in the description, I got paid nearly £10,000 for last month. So I did great stuff with it. I saved a ton of money. But if I was in a habit of normally getting that much money, this is probably what my budget might look like if my circumstances were exactly as they are now. Now you're probably going to see some lifestyle creeping into here, but let's get going. So first off, we've got this income, which is here, and one day I'll be able to do this, but £10,000 is what the income is. And I'm just going to go ahead really, really quickly, and I'm going to fill in all of the bills I have right now. In my head, my circumstances will be the same, that I'm living with my brother, but not for a very long time. So let's go fill those out now. Okay, so my bills haven't really changed at all, but I do want to add in one, which would be subscriptions. So it'd be nice to have like loot boxes, just I'd probably swap and change them a lot, but I'd like a lot of like RE subscription boxes. I've always been drawn to that, but it'd be nice to get stuff like stationery delivered to me every month. I would absolutely adore that, but I know that it's not necessarily within my budget. So this comes up to 559, and I know it's really small, but let's remember at this point I'm living with my brother. So 559.41, which leaves me with 9,440.59. So let's have a look at envelopes and what I'm going to do there. So this is where you're going to see the lifestyle creep in massively. So spending I've really had fun with this. So spending, I'm going to budget £400 to give myself £100 spending money every week. Like, I don't even know if I could possibly spend that. So it might be fun to give myself that, see what damage I could do on a weekly basis, and then stuff the rest. Like, that would be cool. Petrol would never really change, but I'm going to give myself an extra £20 because I'm really rich at this point. So £100 will do. And then groceries, I'll up that as well. So groceries is smaller than you'd think because remember I'm living with my brother. It'll be £200, so £50 a week, which I think is really generous. But I would do a big eating out budget. So eating out, whether it's me going by myself or treating people or whatever, £100 a week. Let's do £400. Right, so self-care, it would be nice to give myself £50 a week. I could really treat myself really often. I'll probably be really turned into such a greedy brat. But £200, this comes out to 1,300. that's too much. But for the sake of today's video, Lifestyles Creep has come in and we've done that. We're still left with 8,140.59 anyway, so you know. Okay, let's have a look at sinking funds. So we'd have car maintenance, which as I said is important to me. £25 is really reasonable to me. I think that's doable. We've got savings challenges, which is fun for me. It's my self-care, and that would be £600. We'd do Christmas, but I'd plan for a big Christmas. So let's see what £200 a month would do. Holiday, talking of, saving up £200 a month for a holiday, that would be some wild holiday, wouldn't it? Then saving up for a car, £500 a month, that I'd get you a nice car in like 2 years or even 1 year. And then birthdays, so I've a big birthday bash for me, £100 a month. And then decor and furniture, so maybe sort of, even if I don't have a house, or maybe I've bought a house and I'm still living with my brother while I renovate it or whatever, decor, furniture, let's do 300 for that. And then uncle treat, which I spoke about in a previous video where I take my nephews and nieces out. I'd like to, that seems like a just like, I'd love to have the disposable income to do that, but you know, it'd be nice to sort of take them out and treat them. £200 a month, that'd be cute. And then like tech, so get myself an iPad whenever I want it, get myself a new phone whenever I want it, just having £300 going into that every single month, like that would be really cool. So that comes up to £2,425, which leaves me with 5,715.59. So that's a lot of money, right? But I'd still be looking to save a lot because that's pretty much who I am as a person. Like, this cash stuffing and this debt-free journey has really like changed my DNA. So I'd still, even though I am being ridiculous with the first half of this money, I'm still going to try and be careful with stuff. So we'd have my ISA there, but instead of doing £10 a week, you can max it out to 6k, the one that I'm doing anyway. So that would be £500 a month. So I'd just do that just to see what happens with it. Then we still got that home one, which is a good interest rate. So I'd still do that at 150. And then new home. So whether I bought a home or I'm looking to buy a second home or whatever it is, say £5,000 a month. That's like 60k in a year. That comes up to 5,650, which leaves me with 65.59, which is a nice buffer. And I feel like you'd need a bit more reasonable buffer if you spent like this. But yeah, this was just a bit of fun, right? It's frivolity, it's super, super fun. And you know, there's no real right answer. In the real world, if I was earning that much money, I would potentially have a home and I'd start looking at things like getting a cleaner and things like that. So, you know, that's what probably what I do, but with the circumstances that I have this in. But yeah, it'd be really good. But I'd love to know down in the comments, if you were on £10,000 a month and you had no debt, what would be the first thing that you would buy? Would it be a cleaner? Would it be a personal assistant? What would it be that you would sort of take care of in your life? I'd love to know down in the comments down below. Thank you so much for getting through to the end of the video. Please give this video some love. Make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe. And if you are going to comment, please use this emoji. Have you considered becoming a patron? Patrons get exclusive content, sneak peeks and significant discounts off my Etsy store. Channel members get early access to every single video and lovely cute little emoticons. If you'd like to join them and support me on either Patreon or on YouTube, have a look at the links in the description. You will not regret it, bestie. That's all we have for today. So until the next video, I would like you to have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week and have a wonderful budget. Always remember,
don't trust Ira.
And bestie, if you'd like to see the circumstances around my current budget and why my budget is the way it is, have a look at this video next.